A toxic relationship is one of the few things that can ruin your life quickly. Because of this, we'll discuss a few warning signs that you or a loved one is in a toxic relationship in this video, in order to make changes before your entire life is destroyed. Remember that none of them indicate that you should end the relationship right now. Toxicity is a spectrum, and these simply indicate that you should either move things back to the healthy side or leave. There are some warning signs that shouldn't be disregarded. Yes, any relationship takes compromise or sacrifice to survive, but you should never compromise your needs and wishes or deny yourself the enjoyment you deserve. And although relationship red flags are typically obvious after the fact, they may be notoriously simple to spot or ignore when we're just starting to fall in love. The use of tautolizing language in conversations is the first indication that a situation is becoming poisonous. The issue with this language is that it is almost never accurate. People may generally be one way, but saying something is always or never means that you are minimizing your partner's positive traits while maximizing your own. This causes the person on the receiving end to feel attacked and underappreciated, which increases the likelihood that arguments will turn into bad faith personal attacks. Make an agreement to talk about your feelings and what you would want rather than speaking in absolutes if you or your partner does this. While some of the red flags above are considered types of emotional abuse, it bears repeating. If anyone verbally, emotionally, physically, or sexually abuses you or puts you in harm's way, get out as soon as possible and receive any necessary help, full stop. These are the types of red flags that should not be resolved in the context of a relationship. If you are in harm's way, it is not a red flag, it is a stop sign. You've probably heard of gaslighting because it's currently a very popular topic in modern dating. In essence, it signifies that they hold you accountable for anything they did, or that they place the blame for their response on you. Gaslighting is a sort of deception done to make you feel uneasy and make you wonder if you're crazy. So trust your instincts and end the relationship if something doesn't feel right. For example, they might feel jealous when you have a social life outside of your relationship. A jealous partner may also suffocate you with excessive calls or texts and try to control what you do. As jealousy in a relationship increased, the relationship quality decreased, indicating that jealousy harms romantic relationships. People in relationships where a partner acted too possessive in the early stages were more likely to have an unhealthy communication style later in the relationship. Some jealousy here and there can be harmless, and it is pretty common in a relationship. But if your partner starts to become possessive or controlling of your plans, what you wear, who you hang out with, or isolates you from your friends and family, this can be a serious sign of emotional abuse down the line. It's not a good indicator if you have to catch your partner lying all the time. We're all guilty of white lies, but it's a warning sign if you discover that your partner is constantly lying or getting caught. These lies can be tiny, like lying about where they're going, or huge, like withholding their debt burden from you. Being lied to repeatedly might make it challenging to establish a strong foundation for the relationship or tear one apart that you've already established, which can result in a shaky future. You need to be careful if your partner is unwilling to make concessions, even over minor issues. You can overcompromise in a relationship with someone who makes everything seem one-sided, which will leave you feeling resentful, hurt, misunderstood, and dissatisfied. It's critical to take into account each other's needs and preferences in a successful relationship, and compromise shouldn't be one-sided. The next point is the extreme emotional reactions. If someone displays unmanageable emotions and easily flies off the handle, this is a serious red flag. Responding with uncontrollable rage or the silent treatment could point to abusive behavior in the future. On the other hand, she adds, a lack of empathy may mean they're void of emotion and care. In other words, you want someone whose emotions are in control and appropriate for the situation. They don't show support for you or the relationship. According to a 2014 analysis of 9 studies on the topic of couple relationships, commitment and support for your relationship and partner is needed to maintain stability. It appears that merely wanting the relationship to endure won't cut it. Instead, individuals must actively engage in actions that demonstrate support for both their partner and the union as a whole. A warning sign can be if your partner doesn't aggressively express support for you in the relationship. This lack of dedication might lead to issues later on. A lack of healthy open communication is another sign. A partner who turns to passive aggressiveness, blaming, or expressing emotions in an aggressive way is exhibiting ineffective communication. Since healthy open communication is the foundation of a successful relationship, issues will arise if you and your partner are unable to do so. Both partners can express their emotions freely in a healthy relationship without worrying about being judged or criticized. Early communication in a relationship may influence future relationship satisfaction, and contentment with early communication may pave the way for a later, more agreeable connection. Now, another sign is alcohol or substance abuse. If you're dating someone who is often unable to handle their alcohol, or they drink and use substances in excess, they could potentially have an addiction. The first step, in this case, is a serious conversation. If your partner has a binge drinking problem and refuses help, consider this a deal breaker. It's like waiting for a time bomb to go off. On the other hand, if they can recognize the problem and actually gets help, this could deepen your relationship. A tendency to avoid challenging conversations. Relationship damage can result from a partner who lacks the emotional or behavioral capacity to deal with issues and chooses to avoid them. Examples include leaving disputes without listening to you out or ignoring you for days on end when things get difficult. When things get bad, those who find it difficult to cope with challenging emotions may lash out or run away. Even healthy relationships may go through difficult times, so you want to be certain that your partner will communicate with you properly rather than leaving you when things get difficult. They don't appear to have any friends either, as you can see. It can be a warning sign if your spouse doesn't have any companions of their own for a variety of reasons. They could find it difficult or impossible to make and keep acquaintances. This could indicate that they are socially awkward, have a challenging personality, or have a negative mindset toward other people. Another issue with a partner who has no friends is that they may be clingy or demand too much, if not all of your time. They may not understand your desire or need to spend time with your friends, which could turn into resentment. The best course of action for dealing with relationship red flags is to act swiftly, openly, and fairly. Open a direct line of communication with your partner, share your worries and emotions, and allow them to do the same. Keep your needs in mind, talk openly and frequently, and make an effort to control your emotions. In such circumstances, you might want to look for professional assistance. Being honest with yourself is crucial at all times, and you should never hesitate to ask for support from loved ones. That's all for today, guys. Hope this video will help you to get a better relationship, and do consider these points and never ignore the red flags. Do like and share this video with your friends and loved ones. Also, don't forget to subscribe our channel, Thought Torch. Goodbye, guys. Stay tuned.